G0B, safety in the ham shack, electrical shock and treatment, safety grounding, fusing, interlocks, wiring, antenna, and tower safety. Which wire or wires in a 4-conductor line cord should be attached to fuses or circuit breakers and a device operated from a 240-volt single-phase source? Only the hot wires should be fused or attached to circuit breakers. The ones that typically in a 240-volt circuit are the red and the black. The ground wire should never have any kind of a break in it. It should not have a switch or anything else in it. Neither should the neutral wire. Should not have a switch or a circuit breaker or a fuse in a 240-volt AC circuit. So only the hot wires, the red and the black. And this is typically done at your service panel, and it's been done by an electrician. These will be hooked to the breakers, and the others will not. What's the minimum wire size that may safely be used for a circuit that draws up to 20 amps of continuous current? The correct American wire gauge number for a 20 amp circuit is 12, AWG 12 for a 20 amp circuit. Which size of fuse or circuit breaker would be appropriate to use with a circuit that uses AWG 14? The maximum current that should go through AWG 14 wiring is 15 amperes. So that's what you would want your circuit breaker to be. So if the circuit attempted to draw more than 15 amps, it would trip the breaker. Which of the following is the primary reason for not placing a gasoline fuel generator inside an occupied area? Danger of carbon monoxide poisoning. When power goes out, and I don't know, I haven't heard of it happening here in Hawaii. It probably has. But when power goes out, people crank up their generators, and they do things like put them in garages and attached garages and things like that, and people die. They need to be where they're freely ventilated and where the carbon monoxide is not going to be infiltrated into an occupied area. Which of the following conditions will cause a ground fault circuit interrupter, a GFCI, to disconnect the 120 or 240 volt AC line to a device? Current flowing from one or more of the hot wires directly to ground. This is the ground fault circuit interrupter. You should have them in your bathroom and your kitchen at least. This is the hot lead here, the shorter of the two parallel is the hot side. And if there is any current flow from that hot side to ground, it will trip the breaker. And typically do it before you can even feel the shock. So it's very, very fast. However, you can draw the full current from the circuit between this one and this one, okay, between the hot lead and the neutral lead. But if there's any current flow at all between the hot lead and the ground, it will trip the ground fault circuit interruption. Why must the metal enclosure of every item of station equipment be grounded? It ensures that hazardous voltages cannot appear on the chassis. It ensures that hazardous voltages cannot appear on the chassis. Which of the following should be observed for safety when climbing on a tower using a safety belt or harness? They say always attach the belt safety hook to the belt D-ring with the hook opening away from the tower. And I have tried to get a good illustration of that here. This looks correct. A better description to me is not hooked away from the tower, but hooked away from the belt. But in any case, you want it so that the strongest part of the hook is what's carrying the load. The strongest, thickest part of the hook is what's carrying the load. If you're going to use safety belt and climb towers, get some good supervision from somebody that knows what they're doing, because it's possible to get hurt pretty bad if you don't get everything right. What should be done by any person preparing to climb a tower that supports electrically powered devices? Make sure all circuits that supply power to the tower are locked out and tagged. And you probably in your home would not use as formal a situation as this. This is an actual lockout that is used like in an industrial situation where this device has been put over the circuit breaker, a padlock has been put through it, and a tag has been put on it so that somebody won't come along and accidentally turn it on. But if you have several people around your house and you're going to be turning off circuits that are important to you while you're up on the tower, you may want to put a tag on or do something else so that they will know not to turn it back on. Why should soldered joints not be used with wires that connect the base of a tower to a system of ground rods? And the answer is a soldered joint will likely be destroyed by the heat of a lightning strike. You need to use clamped joints for grounding systems, because soldering will probably not survive the heat of the strike. Which of the following is a danger from lead-tin solder? Correct answer is the lead can contaminate food if hands are not washed carefully after handling it. So after you've soldered, be sure to wash up thoroughly before you handle food or smoke or do anything like that. Which of the following is good engineering practice for lightning protection grounds? They must be bonded together with all other grounds. All the grounds should be connected to each other in lightning protection grounds. What's the purpose of a transmitter power supply interlock? It's to ensure that dangerous voltages are removed if the cabinet is open. Same principle as your microwave turning off when you open the door. That's an interlock. And the same thing should be present in a transmitter power supply, a high voltage transmitter power supply, to shut off the power if the cabinet is open. What must you do when powering your house from an emergency generator? It's extremely important that if you power circuits in your house from an emergency generator, that you disconnect the incoming utility power feed. Now, the correct way to do this, if you're going to use house wiring, is with a thing called a transfer switch, which you can see right here. And here you have the wiring coming from the pole. Here you have the wiring coming from the generator. And here you have a switch that connects the rest of your house either to the pole or to the generator, but cannot connect the pole to the generator. Okay? Extremely important that you don't allow any of the energy from your generator to go back out to your line. And here's why. First of all, your generator is going to be seriously overloaded because it's going to try to be running the whole neighborhood. Okay, so you don't want that to happen. The other thing is that when the service people come to work on that, they're not expecting to have electricity in that line. They're expecting it to be dead. And after it's come up from your generator at 240 volts and gone through this transformer, it's at several thousand volts on these lines. And you don't want to surprise the guy who's trying to fix your line by giving him a few thousand volts that he's not expecting. So extremely important that the power from your generator not get back into the utility lines. Which of the following is covered by the National Electrical Code? Electrical safety inside the ham shack is covered by the National Electrical Code. Also, there are some things on tower grounding in the new electrical code. Some of the counties, we're having some problems here in Hawaii County with the county interpretation of the new electrical code. And we're trying to get some things resolved on that. For the test, the correct answer is electrical safety inside the ham shack. for if you're putting up a tower and going through the permitting process and all that sort of thing, you may have some adventures there with your building inspectors and electrical inspectors and so on in your county. But for the test, this is the correct answer here. Electrical safety inside the ham shack is covered by the National Electrical Code. Which of the following is true of an emergency generator installation? The generator should be located in a well-ventilated area. Same basic question that we talked about before. Make sure it's well ventilated and the fumes from the exhaust will not go into an occupied area. When might a lead-acid storage battery give off explosive hydrogen gas? A lead-acid battery gives off hydrogen when it's being charged. And it's important that it be well ventilated while it's being charged. Now, some sealed batteries have solved that problem to some degree, but your ordinary lead-acid storage battery that has vents on it needs to be in a ventilated area when it's being charged.